Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am at a local show once again. I'm back in the wrestling ring room, and this was a spur of the moment thing. I literally did not know the show was happening until the morning of. This very morning, I had gone on that little adventure to try to find those books in a garage sale, and I was like, well, I can just go to this show too and set up. So, what you just saw was my little display, my paltry little setup, which I didn't do very well, but man, I made some big trades and found some stuff. I'm doing a little bit of digging, and let's take a look and see what we can find. I believe these are dollar boxes. I'm really hoping these were dollar boxes right here. I come across this. I'm assuming that's Ed Bermejo. That is possibly the ugliest Catwoman cover ever. Like, that Catwoman has smoked like 2 packs of Marlboros for 30 years and probably like burps at dinner and says, it's a delicacy in China. Like, that was that Catwoman. Sorry, I that was a brutal cover. But anyway, there was some Red Sonja stuff in here. Some Dennis the Menace, Uncle Scrooge, Disney type books. There was a Beavis and Butthead #1. There was like a little run of Beavis and Butthead. And then I pulled this out. Totally Awesome Hulk #22. This is the first appearance of Weapon H. It's like a hybrid between the Hulk and Wolverine. That was the second print. And that book registered. Like, I was like, this is something. And I could not remember what it was, and I'm kicking myself because there was 2 copies there, and if those were both dollar books, that would have been worth getting. You can tell the difference between the 2 printings. The blue one is in the text is the second print. The first print is a yellow lettering. There was a Spawn #1 like in every single freaking 90s collection, and then there was some Detective Comics 1000 variants. There were some oversized issues here, the Joker 80th anniversary, the Catwoman anniversary, the Wonder Woman anniversary. Those are all cool books, like kind of mini little stories, kind of like a compilation. Decent little books. None of the covers in there really tickled my Ghibli bits. And there was some trade paperbacks that were decent. Yeah. All right, moving on. This was the owner of the store and the guy that sets up the convention. He had some nice books, including some signature books. This was Sovereign 7, signed by Chris Claremont and Dwayne Turner. And then this, an autographed Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing #9. That definitely caught my eye. There was a nice signature on a Starman, Aquaman 29, First Ocean Master, cool. Another cool Aquaman book. I think I have both of those books. And then, of course, Web of Spider-Man 118, first Ben Reilly. This was another guy. This was just a short box laying on the ground. Man, this short box was pretty brutal. Very 90s. Legion, Robin. Didn't spend much time with that. Won't waste your time with it. Did find some Super Nintendo games. Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 1. Nice, clean copy of Super Mario World. That was kind of cool. That's one of my favorite games of all time, if you know or care. Also had some Dungeons and Dragons books. I don't know what edition this was from, but man, those were cool. Walked over here to the next dealer, and this was an interesting display here. Just kind of had, everything was priced, but everything was like stacked on top of each other, so it was kind of like hard to fiddle through it. I was like scared I was going to drop books. Man, these were some high prices. Like, it kind of hurts me to even look at this stuff because it's just hard to think that I mean, these are dollar books, and I'm trying to be nice. It's just, I mean, there were some good Spawn books here. I'm not super into Spawn, but there was some decent ones. That Spawn 77, that's a good one and a really good cover. There was another Web of Spider-Man. There was an ASM 316, cool Darth Vader book, Spider-Man 1, Venom 1. That's your 90s starter pack. I mean, they're cool books. And then here was some sports ball stuff. I don't know if you guys are big sports ball people, but I am. there was an O.J. Simpson card in there. I almost bought that. Just it was O.J. Simpson's rookie card. I was like, oh my god, that is a weird thing to own. I can't imagine like collecting O.J. Simpson stuff. And there was a bunch of Kobe stuff in there too. R.I.P. This gentleman was a creator, and I need to do more stuff with creators. I should have interviewed that guy if he would have let me. He probably wouldn't have, but he was a nice guy into horror. He and I were kind of talking shop. We were actually talking comic book stories, which was a breath of fresh air as opposed to how much is this worth? How much is that worth? It was just nice to talk about like, hey, who's your favorite writer? He said his favorite story was Preacher. We instantly became friends. That is one of my favorite stories ever. He also said he likes Grant Morrison, and I was like, did we just become best friends? And I think we did. He had some horror double feature books. He most of his stuff was done through Source Point Press. Like I said, he is a writer, not the artist. Several of these books, like that was giving me strong Something is Killing the Children art vibes. This was a cool little book. His last name was Charlton or Carlton, Charlton. And his newest book, go check this out. This is Black of Heart. Wait till you see these inside panels. Sorry for the jittery camera angle. My GoPro like jacked up. The villain is a dentist, and he is a serial killer. So right off the bat, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. What is this? The guy kind of talked about how he had some like bad trauma from like dental work in the past. And I was like, was that the inspiration of this book? And he said no, but he said his villain he was like, the villain was going to be a dentist. And I was like, oh my God, dude, this is too much. This is like, it was a lot. The art in this, I don't know if you guys ever played the video game Heavy Rain on PS3 back in the day, the Origami Killer. This is what that reminded me of. Hopefully he wasn't insulted by me saying that, because I kept like saying like, oh, this looks like Department of Truth. This looks like Heavy Rain. I don't know, like talking to like a creator or an artist, like saying that your stuff is like, looks like something else is like something you want to do, but I did it. I don't know. I was the knucklehead that did it. Anyway, we got some books. We made some trades. So the first thing I traded was a Absolute Carnage omnibus, which I absolutely hated. Probably one of the worst comic runs I've ever read, to be honest. So I was wanting to get rid of that omnibus, and I made a trade with a guy that I knew from way back in the day playing HeroClix, and he had some books from this time period. You can kind of tell this Last Ronin, that is a 9.8 copy. I ended up selling my Last Ronin set, and I kind of kicking myself. I wish I didn't. So I got a copy issue 1 back, so I'm happy. And then this is Daredevil 25. This is the first time that Elektra takes the helm of Daredevil while Daredevil's in prison. This is the Chip Zdarsky run. I have this whole run, but I did not have the cover A, so I was glad to add that. It's also 9.8 caliber. This is Something is Killing the Children foil edition. This is the local comic shop day exclusive. This is a nice book. Super sharp copy. Love that foil on that. Like I said, don't have the cover A of Something is Killing the Children first print, but I do have the 5th print, the 8th print, and now this one. So, beautiful book. I'd love to have cover A of that. Speaking of Department of Truth, he had the first printing of Department of Truth #1, and you can tell that by the issue number being in a red box. This is an excellent run, by the way. James Tynion in the 4th. This is like really good. Probably one of the best new comics that have come out, but it's Image. Most of the best stuff that's come out recently is Image and Boom. Glad to add this one in the collection. I bought the cover B when that book came out, and I kind of kicked myself the whole time because I was like, man, I wanted that cover A. But this was the deal. So I got this. Bernie Wrightson, R.I.P., signed, co-creator of Swamp Thing, him and Len Wein, co-created it. He did the art, some of the most incredible art in this beginning of this run. Just ended up reading this run recently in an absolute format. It was beautiful. The story is but the art is incredible. And you can see Wrightson's signature there. I'm always kind of nervous buying like a signed thing that's not verified, but I was actually able to find some examples of this signature and how he signed it online. Of some other things that he's done. This is one of those that you'd have to send to CBCS to like confirm it. But this is very similar to these pieces here. So I traded 2 short boxes for this book, and they were all dollar books and books that I just didn't have a whole lot of interest in, and things I honestly just couldn't sell and I don't want. So he had this book listed for $200. I think that was way overpriced. This book is like a $10 book in this condition. I don't know what a Bernie Wrightson signature goes for, but I don't really care because this is a personal collection book, and I loved it. So I was thrilled to trade those 2 short boxes of dollar books for this. So I sold basically nothing. I sold $25 worth of stuff. It was a $15 setup fee. So I made $10, but thankfully the day was not lost because I made 2 great trades for this and the other issues for that Absolute Carnage Omnibus. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If at any point in time you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.